Hi, this is Jeremy Moskowitz, and in this video we're going to learn how to use PolicyPak RDP Manager. So the basic gist is that users, if they knew what they were doing, which they often don't, they could go to the Remote Desktop Connection app, type in a server name, and try to put in all these very particular options for audio, for keyboard, for resources, for the experience, the advanced settings. Man alive, there's a lot of settings. But just to prove that I can actually make my remote connection, if I did know what I was doing here, okay, I can go ahead and click connect. I can go ahead and log on, and hey, look at that. Life is good. Okay, so I'm RDPing over to a server over there, and that's all working great. What we're going to see in PolicyPak RDP Manager is the ability for us to create these RDP files, put them wherever we want. For instance, put them on the desktop, and so on. So if I were to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and just sign out here. Okay, so we're going to head over to our group policy station here, and again, what you do here, you can export later for use in MDM or PolicyPak Cloud. So I'm going to create a GPO here, and I'm going to call this PPRDP session. All right, oops, PPRDP session. All right, and then if I were to right click and click edit here, all right, you can do this on the user or the computer side. I'm going to do this on the user side, so I'm going to go over to PolicyPak and head on over to RDP Manager. And this is where you get to put in a new configuration item. Now, if you already have an RDP file, you can just consume it and suck it in. If you already have that perfect RDP file, we can go ahead and recognize that. But I'm just going to create a new policy here from scratch, and I'm going to give it a file path. Now, the file path I want to give it is to make sure it goes right on the desktop. And typically that's going to just be %user_profile %desktop. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then I'll just call it server1.rdp. Okay, so that's going to be the actual name of the file. So you've got a couple of action item types here: create, replace, update, delete. Typically you're going to want to either do create or replace. You can read the little help about here that will explain more detail what happens. Typically update is the best mode, because that way it'll create what if it doesn't exist, and it'll update if you make any changes. This is the actual policy name we want to give this, so we can call this policy123. It doesn't really matter. That's the internal name here. And then here's the logon setting. So if we want to, we can specify a computer that's on our network right now. So if I specify DC here, it's going to look for computers that match. And there we go, dc2016.fabricam.com. And we let you pre-populate the username, like %domain name, %username, okay? Or if you wanted to specify something specific, you could do that there too. And here's where you get into the nitty gritty. So the idea is that now you can dial in exactly what configuration you want. Why don't we start off with 1280 by 800, and I'll change it later just to show you that we can change it. You want to change the color depth to, say, 16 colors, or let's do 24 colors first. And then we can do like local resources. We can play on this computer and do not record. Now, if you change your mind later, the UI is pretty easy. What you do is just right click and just uncheck this little guy, and bang, you're not going to do that thing anymore. So let me show you that again. Underline means do the thing, and then right click and leave will say don't do the thing anymore. Okay, you can specify what happens on the keyboard and what local remote devices are here and so on. Okay, so if you want the device, it will be checked. If you don't want the device, it would be unchecked. Okay, and if you want to say goodbye, that you don't want to do the setting anymore at all, you just leave the setting on the PC and it goes to the square. All right, you can check the experiences and you can optimize for performance and so on. So all these things are available to you. These are all the kinds of settings that are traditionally very difficult for a user to to have to think about. You're just going to set it and forget it. User doesn't have to think about it. So go ahead and click OK here, and there you go. There's your policy. Oh, one last and very important thing. You can say deliver this RDP file when and only when something is true, like when the machine is a laptop, or when it's a laptop, or when it's on the corporate network, or when it's on a work from home network. So the idea is that you can specify to create this RDP file, and you can also remove this RDP file when the policy no longer applies. So for instance, when you're in the office, you get a variety of RDP files. When you're working from home, you get a variety of of files. Okay, you would remove the RDP file when the policy no longer applies and create multiple configuration items, some for your on-prem, some for your remote. Let's go ahead and see it in action. So now what we'll do is we'll go over to our target machine here, and we're ready to just run GP update. Let's go ahead and do that. So we'll just run GP update here. Give this a second to finish up. And boom, we can see we've got the, so now let's give it a go here. We'll double click it. And this is perfectly normal because it's unsigned. So you can just go ahead and click connect here. And there you go. A domain name, eSalesUser1. So if we go ahead and put our password in here, it should evaluate. Does its thing, and it's off to the races. And look at the size of the screen. It's exactly what we said it's going to be. And if we were to go bananas and try to look at this file manually by opening up Remote Desktop Connection here by hand and opening up this file here, if we were to take a look at it on the desktop here, okay, we can see that what we set is actually inside there. There's the 1280 by 800. There's the true color 24-bit. And now if we want to update these things, that's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll just go over back here. We'll go back to the policy here, and let's just make 2 changes here to display, just something for us to see. I'll do, there we go, 1400 by 900, and then I'll do highest quality 32-bit, just something for us to see. So then we'll go back over here and run GP update. Now again, I'm showing you here in group policy land. If you were using MDM or PolicyPak Cloud, you know the drill. You just right-click and export, and then in MDM land, you wrap it up as an MSI. And in PolicyPak Cloud land, you can either use the in-cloud editors, or you can just copy the details. So now, next time I run server here, what do we get? Well, again, you don't have to ask to see that anymore. We can go ahead and click OK. Put our username in, our password in here, and the next connection is going to, we said, be bigger, stronger, badder in every way. Let's go check that out. So we can go ahead and go to Remote Desktop Connection here, and we can open the file. Okay, we need to open that file here, go back to desktop, and let's check it out by hand, because users don't know how to do this, but you can. And if you click on display, boom, you can see we've got the larger display and the color quality exactly the way we want. So all these things are available to you to keep updated. You can dictate the remote work and work from home scenarios that you're after using PolicyPak RDP Link Manager. So I hope this video helps you out. Looking forward to getting you started real soon. Thanks so much.